WSP Regina Financial Education Center. Welcome, welcome. Wow, a lot more. Welcome, Jacksonville. One more minute. Welcome, Mission. Welcome, welcome. We all have an awesome, awesome evening. We're going to have an awesome trainer tonight. Okay. All right. See who else locking in. All right. Out of financial centers, full house here. That's awesome. All right, welcome, Equipo, Colorado. Wow, we're Colorado, right? We're Canada. We have East Coast, West Coast, right? East Coast over here. Uh, welcome, welcome. All right, welcome, Troy Financial Center. All right. So, all right. So it's 8:30. Okay. So let's go and get started. Uh, let me introduce myself. All right, you guys can turn off the music for me. I want to share a little of my background. I originated from Hong Kong. I have been with this campaign over 15 years. My previous background, I have a college degree, and I met my wife there, and we thought that, hey, with a college degree, I'm set. I don't work for corporate. I think I'm very happy. I actually went through two corporate reorganization. Okay, if you guys don't know what it means that I got laid off. Right? Hey, is that Gary? We reorganized the department Monday. You didn't show up for work. So my wife also, we both used to be a programmer. So, and we don't like to talk to people. Okay. And my wife also got laid off one time. Right. So, and then we decided, hey, we look at each other. Should we wait for the third strike? Or we know that, especially in the computer field, the more seasoned you'll be into it, it's going to be even harder for us to find a job later. So then we just make a decision is that, hey, we just let's find something else to do instead of work from corporate. Now, I'm not saying anything about not good work from corporate. I enjoy that, but we believe that we're just trading time and we have no control, right? The company actually control us, right? So then we actually own a restaurant before. And then I got my license in real estate, and with this campaign now, I'm very excited with what we do here. Helping a lot of families out there. Right now, I'm currently at GX3, and then focus on every month to build 10 GX on our team, right? And this is the Jimmy Carter Financial Center here, right? Also, I'm very looking forward to thanks coach and all the coaches. Excited to attend. Looking forward to attend our GX retreat at the end of this month. And also, we want to focus and moving a lot of people to G25. I know some of the ticket now, a little bit more ticket come back on, so that we want to make sure that we want to focus and bring a lot of people to G25 in Sacramento. Okay, and I know that we have the campaign clinic next Saturday. So definitely we're going to invite a lot of people here in our office and all over the country. Okay, we want to have a massive invite to our office over there. Okay, so let me go ahead. I know that we're gonna have a two powerful trainer tonight. I'm very honored to introduce both of them. But let me go and introduce the first one first. Our first presenter is Mr. Ron Romero from 407 TD Financial Center. So, hey, Ron, are you on? I want to go ahead and just turn it over to you. And I know that you're going to do the debt management and debt roll-up concept with us.
Hey, thanks, Gary. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to be able to share some information with you. So tonight, I'm tasked to actually provide you some information about debt management. So please bear with me here, and we'll go through right into our presentation here. So, hey, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here tonight. We'll be talking about debt management, but let me start a quick question for you. How many of you here had actually had that before? I guess pretty much a lot of us, but here's much more question. Well, have you borrowed money and later thought that it was a big mistake, or maybe the opposite, that you made a loan work for you and in favor you actually came out ahead? The truth is, debt itself isn't always bad. It's a tool. And like any other tool, it can build something great or it can cause serious damage depending on how you use it. So tonight, we're going to talk about the difference between the good debt and the bad debt and what sets them apart, how they affect your financial future, and most importantly, how to make smart decisions when borrowing money. So whether you're just starting to build up credit, trying to pay off your debt, or planning to a big financial move like buying a house or starting a business, this information can perhaps save you thousands of dollars and years of stress. So let's delve right into it. So if we're going to be talking about debt, bottom line is debt is simply money you borrow with a promise to pay it back, usually with interest. The good deal about it is not all debt are created equal. And this is where I would like to start things off is understanding about the different interests that are available out there and to be able to differentiate it before we go into the good debt versus the bad debt. So some of you may have heard about the simple interest, and this is calculated just like your mortgage or your auto loans or some of those personal loans out there. They're calculated only on the original amount, which is the principal. So nothing other being added in there. Unlike your compound interest, it's calculated on the principal plus any unpaid interest. This is what most credit cards and other loans are using. And what we learn about our workshops about the Rule of 72, the power of compounding is really wonderful with works into to our investments. But when it comes to compounding interest on a credit card, then that's where trouble starts to set in. So, some few notes in here. With compounding interest, if you don't pay off your balance, the debt grows faster because you charge interest on top of the interest. However, with even with a simple interest, if you miss the payments, late fees or penalties may be added to it, and you could still end up paying more than expected. So, what is a good debt? If there's two types of debts, what's a good debt? So good debt is pretty much debt that helps build long-term wealth or increases income potential. The key features are one, low interest, two, supports future financial growth, three, improves your credit if managed well. What are the examples? One, student loans. Why is a student loan good? Because education can lead to higher income over time. But be cautious though to borrow only a reasonable amount and for a valuable degree. So not necessarily that you have to take the full amount of the loan so you can be able to, have a luxurious car or something extra for it, but just borrow what's actually needed. So a good example is somebody, let's say Maria, who's going to get a nursing degree and borrow $20,000 for a student loan, but within 2 years, she was earning double her old salary, then it does qualify as a good debt there. Second is the mortgage. Mortgage, why it's good is because buying property builds well equity, and also home values usually increases over time. Although you must be cautious on this matter because go only on the affordable amount that you can be able to afford, and also do not exceed your means when it comes to this big budget money that you're going to be needing. So it's like the mortgage. The third one, small business loans. Why is it good? Because it can help you start or grow a business, potentially increasing the income. So somebody who borrowed some money to open up a new location, maybe they needed to operate in another state or another province. they had a small business loan, or maybe they hired a staff because now they're getting busy and they needed an extra manpower to actually do that, then that is potentially obviously a very good loan in their small business loan. Number four, investing skill development and certifications. Why is it good? Because that short term debt will lead to a career growth or perhaps new job opportunities that will increase your potential to have a higher income. So, on the flip side, will be the bad debt. So, when it comes to bad debt, these are what depreciates in value. They offer no financial return and leads to overspending. Common traits are always high interest. They don't have any long-term financial benefit, supports non-essential or depreciating purchases, and encourages impulsive and unaffordable spending. So, what are the examples of bad debt? One, credit card debt, carrying a balance. Why is it bad? Because high interest, anywhere between 18 to 30% on purchases that don't generate value. These examples would be clothing, expensive clothing, signature items, dining out, those expensive gadgets we have. Second is the payday loans. This is extremely high interest, anywhere between 300 to 600% on the rates. So how do they work? So pretty much, this thing is more. They borrow in small amounts, anywhere between $100 to $1,500, and on every $100 that they borrow, they may impose a here in Ontario, Canada. The province actually implemented a cap of $15 per hundred. So someone who's borrowing $300 will be paying $345 in perhaps 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and that is about $45 extra fees in there in a matter of 4 weeks. So if you look at it, that's about $300 of interest rate that they're charging you on that small amount. So this becomes a cycle trap because most people cannot afford to pay that loan that they borrow. Now they have to borrow again to pay that loan. So it becomes a cycle in there. So it is extremely dangerous, has a very high interest, short repayment period, target people who are actually in financial distress and often lead to long-term debts in there. Other debts will be the auto loans for luxury cars. Why is it bad? Because cars depreciate rapidly. They said about the moment that it rolls out the parking lot, about 10% has been already depreciated. And in the full year, about 10 to 15%. In another 2 years, it's going to be 30 to 40%. So having loans for these luxurious cars may not be a good fit when it comes into considering to eliminating debts. Number four, buy now, pay later for non-essentials. This is one of the trend right now. It encourages impulse buying and can pile up quickly without feeling like a debt. Because imagine it, you already use it and then you're paying it later. Well, 6 months later, after that major vacation or maybe a wedding or that birthday, then you're beginning to feel the pain that man, the joy is already gone and I'm still paying for this thing because these are one of those things that people are actually utilizing right now. Other ones are the rent to own agreements. This is where you pay a lot more higher rates, a lot more fees, and other things that you have to be paying. That's why sometimes owning a rent to own is not the most great way because you end up paying more. In-store financing, those department store credit cards that charges a lot more than the usual credit cards. Vacation loans, those fly now, pay later for vacationing, and high interest personal loans for lifestyle spending, like going on vacations and those extravagant birthdays, I guess, that actually get people into trouble. So some things to look out on the bad debts in there. So when we have this bad debts, then we need to be able to consider how does this credit card affects us and how do we eliminate and get out of it. So understanding it perhaps can be able to kind of streamline the way we think about debts and be able to avoid them. So credit cards interest can significantly hurt an individual if balances aren't paid in full each month. And here's how it works against you. Compound interest grows quickly. Credit card interest is compounded daily. So this means you pay interest, not just on the original balance. So even a small balance can balloon if it's unpaid. So imagine borrowing $1,000 and you owe them $1,000 and you have 20% interest rate on that one, and you only make minimum payments on these things that will set you a trap in there, and that will cost you an extra $100 in interest. So when you pay the minimum payment, there is a tendency that you're not paying too much on the principal, but more so in the interest, so the debt stays in there, and that's where people actually get caught in there. So the debt persists and grows even with regular payments because they're a minimum payment. Late payments, this means more fees plus higher rates. So when you have this late fee that can charge you anywhere between $25 to $40, that can be a burdensome. That could accumulate. The penalty interest, all of a sudden you were when you first had it, it was an introductory rate, and now they put you on that regular rate. But because you have a late payment now, they bump your interest rate now to about 29.99%. So if you don't notice these things and you accumulate this wealth, you'll be potentially going to be in a big trouble because all those interest rates just actually increase. Hurts your credit score. And this is where you carrying a high balance increases your credit utilization ratio, which actually lowers your credit score. So a lower score leads into a higher interest rate on future loans or even purchasing insurance or even rent applications. So make sure that you protect your credit score and being able to understand just because you have the capacity on your credit under doesn't mean you have to fully utilize it because it actually hurts you in that situation as well. Number five, the credit card affects you in a way that no grace period on carried balances. So now you have 1,000 balance that rolled over the next month, and then you put in another maybe $1,500. Well, that $1,500 will start accumulating interest right away because you already have a leftover balance from that month. So there's no grace period balances on those ones right there. And then number six, creates a debt cycle. Interest payments reduce your available cash. You might rely more on credit, leading to more interest, and the cycle repeats. So, in summary, with a credit card, the interest quietly eats away at your finances over time. Unless you pay the full balance each month, you're essentially renting money at a very high cost. Yeah, I was saying here that you're using the money that you don't have to buy the things that you don't need to impress the people you don't even like. And that's credit card, right? So hopefully it actually creates some awareness for most people who thinks that having debt is a normal thing to have. No, it's not. You can actually live a debt-free, bad debt-free life in there. So, and about to close, what are the practical steps to building good habits and understanding how credit works? You have to invest in yourself and be able to spend less than you earn. Track all income and expenses. Avoid lifestyle inflation as income grows. Most people, especially in our business right here, because we generate extra income, we increase our income, doesn't actually dictate that we also have to increase our expenditures. We can be able to be smart on how to actually control that and be able to live beyond below our means in there. Number two, create and stick to a budget. Allocate money for essentials, savings, and discretionary spending. Use budgeting apps or spreadsheets for visibility. There's nothing more powerful than seeing what your progress is going to be by seeing them on your screen or maybe on your fridge because you actually keep track on them. Number three, we heard this one. Build an emergency fund. So here we say you don't have an emergency fund yet, and that's the reason why perhaps you are in debt because most people think that credit card will be their emergency fund only for 20 days and only if you pay that in full. Otherwise, you're going to be accumulating some interest. So what we say is take the first challenge. Take the first thousand if you can save it. $1,000 that you don't have access to except for emergencies. Once you fulfill that, you can do that three times your monthly expenditure. So if you have expenses, let's say 5,000 a month, the next step is to save about $15,000. And if you're up for it, then you accomplish that. Shoot for the six times that 5,000. That's about $30,000 for an emergency fund, and anything that life throws at you, you can stand tall, look that in your face, in their eyes, and say, I save money for this one because I have an emergency fund, because I know how. Use credit responsibly. Pay off credit card balances in full every month. Use the system against them. If you have a point system card, and that's the best way, is accumulating those points and then not getting any interest to pay because you always pay it in full. Avoid taking out high interest loans. Those payday loans, those are some things that we need to be able to eliminate in our finances. Don't open more credit accounts than necessary. Just because you have the capacity doesn't mean you have to really fully indulge on those credits in there. Also look on what your capacity, because again, your borrowing power may affect you when you actually utilize the credit scoring that they have. Number five, understand the true cost of borrowing. Know the interest rate. Don't just get into signing those things without knowing what you're getting into, what the fees are associated with it, and what the repayment terms are. Consider the total cost of a loan or credit purchase, not just the monthly payment, meaning assessing the whole idea, because these are going to be the debts that's going to be you're going to be subsidizing, and that you can afford. If you're losing sleep because of that's something that needs to be addressed, and that something needs to be fixed right away. Number six, prioritize debt repayment. Focus on paying the high interest debt first, which is what we call the avalanche method, or do what we say the snowball method, where you focus on the small debts for motivation. Either way, you got to be able to have a program on how you're going to be able to repayment all those debts in there, and just focus. Don't even think about I have a debt or anything. As long as you have a process, you focus on that one, chances are you're going to be able to fulfill, as long as you're disciplined to be able to do that. Number seven, avoid co-signing loans. Your best friend, your buddies, or your relatives, you're legally responsible if the other person defaults, and you have to know that. Only consign if you can afford to take over the loan. If this is something that you have agreement with and you're transparent about those things, then yeah, fine, you have agreement. But if you're signing something that you don't know, you can have time to still think about it and be able to consult it with other people, because it's your future is going to be at stake in there. Check your credit report regularly. This is something that a lot of people are missing, and sometimes they do actually miss those red flags or of fraud in there. If you check your credit report regularly, there's going to be some signs in there that may be a discrepancy, and that's a way for you to know that somebody might be accessing your information. There's always those free annual checks here in Canada. We have those Equifax and TransUnion that you can request for your credit report. I'm pretty sure our neighbors in the United States as well will have that to be able to actually see it. So always check. You're allowed to do two inquiries a year, that one, which are called soft inquiries. Okay. Live with your means, within your means. Delay major purchases if they require that you can't afford. Right? Buy, use, or lower cost alternatives when possible. If you have the ability to be able to pay everything in cash, then that may be a good practice to actually discipline yourself, because through that you can be able to always double check yourself. Am I able to afford this with the money that I have right now, or should I actually kind of delay it? So play those things with in your mind and see how you can actually be able to avoid the temptation of using credit cards at most times. Number 10, seek help early. Sometimes we cannot afford to do these things ourselves, and it can be overwhelming at times, and it's not your fault. The good news is there's still help out there, maybe the help of a third party that we have, that we deal with. So seek out some help with the people that you actually working with a licensed individual. They may be able to pinpoint you the right direction out there. And lastly, number 11, make sure you attend all our financial literacy workshops because this is are the best way to really understand the fundamentals and be able to know on how to properly prepare yourself, not only maybe just for yourself, but also for the future generation. Thank you so much. That's all the time that I have. And I do appreciate you for letting me share on about this debt right here. And I will turn it back to our host, Mr. Gary Yip. Back to you, Gary.
All right. Thank you, Ron. And I learned a lot from what you share about, debt, especially credit card debts, right? In the US and Canada, same way, right? I think that's what the Saving Your Future program, that debt become a way of life, right? It doesn't matter which country we are in, right? We all have debt. But as you mentioned earlier, I encourage everyone to watch our workshop and invite guests to watch our workshop. I love the workshop number two. That's why we can teach you how to pay off the debt faster and also find 23 ways to add the $100 to it, right? So thank you. Appreciate your training tonight. So we'll move to our second trainer from tonight from WSB Valencian office, Miss Nancy Rosalam. Nancy, are you on?
Hello, everyone. Can you please stand up and let's do the work? Yeah! Road team, one dream, one system, one cause. Good evening, everyone. So nice to be wow for the first time to be a trainer here. My topic for tonight is a full-time mindset. So to discuss this, I'm gonna introduce myself first. This is my story and my family. So this is me and John when we like easy go lucky. So look at the before and after. So, and this is my family. So, I came here in Canada way back 2005 because of my sister. And I didn't know that there's Canada. All I know is US. Because as being a nurse, this is always our full-time dream to go to the US. So that is, and now being part of WSB, so this is what we are. So how WSB was introduced to me. So I'm a registered nurse in profession, and I'm so skeptical when in terms of doing something else. My employee mentality is very strong. All I know is for all throughout my life, for 50 years of existence, 40 years of existence, it's all medical because the rest of that, when this road system builder was introduced to me, look at how many people came to my place, full force they come to me. Look at Jeff and Woody. How skinny are they, right? So that's it because I'm so skeptical. And at the time, guys, that is for sure December, they were not able to code me or to be part, but they're so smart enough because they know that my weakness is to travel. So going there, and that is me, my first event in Atlanta, and you know what? I just take advantage on them. But I never realized that's the start of everything. So now my topic tonight is a full-time mindset. What do you really understand with full-time mindset? So first thing here that you need to have, and now on, after my training, is you need to examine yourself. Are you resilient enough that when your prospects didn't answer you, when you didn't show up to you, you've been waiting for so long, would you cry? Would you say that this is not for me? Passion for work. Regardless of everything, you need to have a passion that drives it forth. Why you be here, right? And strong drive to succeed. It's not only like you're doing your best, but aim for excellence. And be proactive, guys. You come to here. You come, when somebody campaign you, they show already the opportunity of this business. So you need to decide and be proactive. You joined because you want to do something else, right? So that is those are things that to be like a character of being a committed entrepreneur. And the importance of dedication and focus. So here, guys, what is really the byproduct of dedication and focus? It could sustain your growth. It is effective for resource allocation. What does it mean? It says your focused mindset allows you to do something else that could achieve your goals, regardless whatever it is. And achieving long-term goals. So for me, I'm so grateful for the person who introduced this business because you know what? My transition is I want to go to study to become a pastry chef and to make a coffee shop. But never I realized, wow, and I'm so thankful for the person who really have this because that makes me who I am now. And that is because of dedication and focus. So the importance, having said that, is how you maintain your well-being and at the same time doing the business at the same time. So what I love I remember when I went to Israel as my first super trip. I was so much financially illiterate at the time. I'm a nurse in a profession, but I don't have something else. Good thing, my mentor Woody is so generous enough, but there is something that I need to do something. So we went to Israel, and that I realized, where can you find the business that it could balance your well-being, wherein you live your dream, you're earning, you're traveling, and you're learning at the same time. And that is how I have a goosebump right now. And that expand my mental health. And this is the organization. Where can I find and look at that? Since for all the super trip, this is I always enjoy. I never miss any super trip. So this is the last super trip that we went. And look at that. I see to it, because of this business, I can afford to go back home, to see my mom and enrich our dreams that someday we can develop our farm. And at the same time, I'm lucky enough to have a spousal support who is my best prospector wherever we go. Wherever we go, you see there, we prospect as we go. But it doesn't compromise our happiness though. So at the same now that you know the characteristics, the factors to have a full-time mindset, do you really have a full-time mindset, guys? Or this is just a fooling time in a business? What's fooling time in the business? That you lack your clear goal and your vision. What you really are for. Why you're here, right? Why your mentor keep asking you to attend this meeting, be in the event, right? And also, this is the common procrastination and inconsistency. You be here today, to next meeting you're not. Oh, that's not for me. You become GX, but next time you're just promotion driven, and mismanagement of time and resources. This can be complacency in management. Sometimes it affects me though, because sometimes when I reach my SMD, I think I'd be good. I'm good with that. But it's not though, right? You need to keep working, and that makes it become, you may have that strategy to have a full-time mindset. So, do you want to know how to develop your full-time mindset, guys? Yes. Okay. So, you need to set a goals which is smart. You know what? In here in WSB, that's why I struggle enough for my time, but I make sure that I deliver what I expected from me because of this top reason. You need on coming here earlier, me and John was talking, you need to have a belief, guys, to have this emotional goal be. You need to put your heart and your life that all these goals will be attainable, will be achieved, right? And that is you're gonna learn from us. So now as you see, I'm working here as a part-time, but look at my daily schedule. As you see, I have my own calendar. Look at my team, even I see to it that the tasks were delegated properly. I learned it from Alicia because this is always thing that she's telling me, Nancy, you need to figure out who's gonna be your superstar who is really working with you. That I learned it so that at the end of the day, I would not be a social butterfly jumping from one campaigner to one, but at the end of the day, we didn't achieve nothing. We didn't achieve. So now this is why we need to have a calendar so that everyone, and you can even what segregate, is this really a good appointment? Because at the end of the day, you need to be intentional that you need to have one result. And aside from that, you need to have a habit winning mindset. So it's not like you're coming of the day, what kind of business do you have? Can you describe your business to me? Like, when did you start opening your business? At the end of the day, you keep busy, but there's no result, right? So now aside from that, why your mentors asking you to go to the event? Because you invest yourself as well. So in any, even you're not here, even you're not in the business, even at your work, aren't you be told by your manager that you have a continuous learning, right? So the same as in here. So you need to invest yourself. Like here, we have the G25. I hope all of you registered.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of my team. We're like 50 people coming to the event.
Wow.
So having said that, you need also courses and workshops. I remember what makes me here because of the debt management. I'm not ashamed now to admit that, but it changed our financial 360 to the better. And also for me, what a nursing staff doing here in a finance, right? But because of the Titan, my employee mentality changed now to become a financial nurse. Wow. So, and I really like in here, and since that, I developed that skills and discipline as well, and maintaining it. So, tools of effective for your business management is you need to network and mentorship, the importance of networking. Networking, guys, is not a pyramiding. It's like engaging, introducing. That's why the Mozone is very important because you talk to others. And seeking mentorship, take note for seeking. It's not the mentor will go to you. Go to you. You introduce to the mentors, to all leaders. And this is me. So since that I've been here in the business for 7 years, look at me, always Jeff and Woody, I always in their side. But look at that, because of this, like we're always be coachable enough and hunger for learning. And that is, I talk to other leaders, mingle with them, because I can get their insight. I'm inside. I was inspired with their stories, through their engagement. And aside from that, look at this, even like the wife of coach, right? So we even have that in her perspective as being the wife of a billionaire, as a spousal support. John could learn that as well. And here, being part of that, dealing with, I'm so amazed, guys, because me and John were just an ordinary couple, an employee, house, and like that. But I'm so amazed every time I go to leadership, I was able to integrate these big leaders. And that is why I inspired with them that if they can do it, I could do it too. right? So now, this is very important. That's why, guys, you need to be inspired with the success stories. And these are your stories someday. That testimonials is very important. So, having that, like, why they become a full-time mindset, not even like full-time in the business, how they do it. So, that is the byproduct that you may have a mindset shift. So, these are the people that inspired us that because of that, their stories, even Melissa Magalon is even like, I know her, but how can she do it, right? It even challenged me that I could do it too. So not only that, it's a lot of these are people we idolize, and this is Bing and Zenny where I started because I mirror myself to them, right? Because they're also a nurse, and here we are not ashamed anymore to integrate to them and ask them questions, how they do this, how can you do this? It's a mentoring. So all of these things, guys, it needs you. It gives you a lesson to be part of, to that your journey be successfully. So to make it short, it's like me and John, we always find it fun, our journey here, because it drives us to be passionate in what we do. And this is what for my team, and this is my conclusions. To become a full-time mindset, you need to have effective management. You need to have a full-time mindset, commitment to goals, and continuous learning. And these are our result. I walk what I talk. And this is where consistently a GX, since the GX was implemented. And this is where we were appointed. And this is my cash flow, and even surpassed my nursing career though for 2 consecutive years. And now another 2025 in challenge again. And we work hard for my team. And these are my monitoring sheets and how I monitor my team. And because of that, out of 15 that run for GX, we're able to produce 10 GXers, including myself. And these are they for. So thank you for listening. So I hope you learned something and you're able to examine yourself, regardless what your status here in the business. Are you full-time or part-time? But you need to have a full-time mindset. My name is Nancy Rosalem, and I'm proud World System Builder. Thank you. I back to you, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Awesome sharing, Nancy. Right? I take a lot of good notes about your, of course, the full-time mentality, but, even you're part-time, you have that mentality, right? I think this is all we all need to have, right? And thanks both of trainer Ron and Nancy training tonight. And let's all go out to apply what we learned from both of the great trainers here. And let's take action. And let's finish our GX this month. All right. So y'all have an awesome evening. Okay. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Good job.
Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air, like I don't care, baby. By the way, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Good try, right?
Come back, happiness is